again, there's no embargoes, this is really live, so anyone ready with the first question?
Thanks, Carl. Hi, Mick, how are you?
Hello, how you doing?
How's it going? Can you update us?
Water, sorry, Carl. Sorry.
Grant, can you update us on Darren Randolph? How is he?
It's fine. Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Good to go?
Yeah, good to go.
Any other injury worries or concerns or anything?
No, thankfully, no, everybody's okay.
Okay, how is preparation? How have the last couple of days been? You've been a couple of days with the squad now. Have you run over your tactics and stuff? You have a clear mind in terms of your setup for tomorrow?
Absolutely, yeah. I'd be in trouble if I hadn't the day before. Yeah, they've been great. Lads, of course, the lads who played have been doing recovery more than anything else, so they joined in yesterday, but they're all fine. Everything's okay.
You tempted, Mick, to go with the formation that you started with in Switzerland for this one?
You'll find out on Monday evening. Look, I don't want to give anything away, give anything my hand away, and I hope you'd appreciate that rather than alerting everybody as what we're going to do and who we're going to do it with. So forgive me if I don't tell you that.
Nice. And the 5-1 defeat to Denmark a couple of years ago, Mick, is that featuring in your team talk, or will it feature in your team talk just for an extra bit of motivation the next day? Well,
until you've just mentioned it, I hadn't given it any thought, and it wouldn't be something I'd be speaking about, to be honest.
Really?
No, why would I?
I think some of the players who played in that game might feel a bit more motivation in terms of...
We drew in Denmark and played well in Denmark, and actually could have won it in the end, so I'd prefer to speak about that and the positive side of things rather than remind anybody of a negative. I can't imagine that in your life, that if somebody keeps bringing up the negative stuff that you've done, helps you be any better than you can be.
Yeah. It's going to be a sellout tomorrow. What role do you think the fans can play?
Well, always the fans have got a great role to play, and certainly ours have been wonderful over the years. There's been some big evenings, haven't there, at Lansdowne Road, the Aviva. So I'm hoping they're going to create a great atmosphere. I'm sure they will. So that's down to us as well to help them create that atmosphere.
Sure. Just finally for me, did you learn anything from the Denmark-Gibraltar game last night?
No, absolutely nothing. I learned that Gibraltar played a lot better than they did against us defending, that's for sure.
Cheers, best of luck.
Yeah.
Mick McCarthy, how will you stop Christian Eriksen? Last time he played here, not last time, 2 years ago, he scored 3 goals. How will you stop him?
Well, it has to be a collective effort to stop their team, because you guys have got a good football team. You've only been beaten once in 31. You know, I could put something for Poulsen and Braithwaite and Cornelius and the good players that you've got. But Eriksen's a special player. And we'll be doing everything we can to make sure he doesn't hurt us the way he did last time.
When we look back year and last year, you have only scored 2 goals in one game against Gibraltar. You mean you should score twice tomorrow to win, or is one enough?
I don't know. We've been pretty good at keeping the ball out of our net, so... You know, I'm just going to state the obvious, that if we manage to keep a clean sheet and we score 1, that'll be enough. You know, I hope that we perform as well as we have done against certainly the teams Switzerland and Denmark away. I can't answer that question, whether one goal will be enough. Let's hope it will. Or 1 goal difference will be enough, as long as it's in our favour.
Sorry, could you pass the mic?
Sorry, Mick. All the games you've played over the years, do you still get the excitement you got before the Iran game, the Holland game, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I've woken up this morning with the butterfly with the boots on this morning. It's the day before the big game, and I'm pleased about that, to be honest with you. That nice feeling, getting ready for a game, that you know it's the big game's coming now. This is the last part of the preparation. I enjoy that feeling, yeah.
Do they get bigger the further on you get in your career?
Well, they don't get any less, that's for sure. No, not at all. And do they get any bigger? I don't know, it's the most it's the one that you're playing in that's the biggest one, isn't it? So this is it, and I hope I'm going to have a bigger one in July, and we've got bigger games when we're playing in the European Championships. But for now, this is the biggest one.
And is it just a case with the players of not leaving anything out there, coming off with no regrets?
Well, I don't think the players ever leave. You know, they leave everything on the pitch for me. For us, for Ireland, they give everything they've got. I've never questioned ever for that. And I guess, we never want to come off a pitch regretting not playing as well or run as far as hard, but I'd never accuse any of our lads of that. They're brilliant.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Andreas from Danish National Radio. Two national teams playing each other 6 times in 2 years. That's quite rare. How is it to play a team you know that well as a national coach?
Well, this is only my second, don't forget. I know, I think Hagi O'Reilly said he was slightly, he'd had enough of playing against Ireland, and he said, I won't repeat what he actually said because you all know. That's not the case with me. It's just my second game, and I thoroughly enjoyed the first game in Copenhagen. I thought it was a really good game. I thought Denmark shaded it certainly for a bit of the game, most of the game, but towards the end we could have won it, having equalised. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm not cheesed off playing against Denmark. No, I thought it was a great game in Copenhagen. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
Mick, sorry, down the back.
Oh yeah.
James McLean said last week that there was one more big performance in this team. What can you do between now and kick-off to get that out of the players?
You see, I think that's where there's a bit of a misconception. It's like I should be doing something between now and the kick-off to get a big performance. Do you not think that it's on an ongoing basis that you get those? Well, let me answer the question before you interrupt me, please. So, do you not think that it's on a daily basis, all the time, speaking to the players, the work that we do, the stuff that we show them, the interaction that we have with them, is that what creates that atmosphere that we get big performances out of them? And I don't ever think there's something just very special that you can do on the day before the game that's going to create something. They're all looking forward to a full house, a game that means so much to them and to the country. Sometimes you might have to just calm people down rather than wind them up. You're going to ask me something else in the middle there.
Yeah, no, because I can appreciate where you're coming from there in terms of it's not just when you get into camp, when your work begins. So then after the last get-together when the 2 results, what have you been doing from then in terms of, was there much kind of analysis of the previous 2 games, or do you just try and forget it and focus purely on the ends?
There was from us, we've looked at it, of course, myself, TC and the staff. But those 2 games are not going to affect this one. It's a different game altogether. And the Georgia game that was so much talked about it afterwards, I've just watched them play Switzerland, and arguably they're probably the best chance. They could have won that game and showed what a capable team they are. And Switzerland, the game away, they were better than us. And they probably are as a team, to be quite honest. The second half against Switzerland, I thought we played well. But all those things, the game against Denmark, all of them, they're all gone. And that's the difference, I guess, with international football. You play, and then you go and play 5, 6, 7 games for your club, and you come back, and you're forgetting about them, and you get on with what's in front of you.
Just on, obviously, Richard Keogh came into camp. Was that kind of your thinking? Did you invite him in and want to get him in to be around the lads, or what was it?
I invited him in to show him a bit of love from the rest of us, from the lads, and they all did. They're all delighted to see him. It's not some kind of motivational tool getting him in. It's just he's been around. I don't know how many games he's played for us now, but in the games he played, he's been brilliant, and he's such a great guy. I mean, he's good character to have around, and he's enjoyed the fact that he's been in and around the lads for a while.
Yeah, I've got the mic. Sorry for my voice. I hope you can hear me. Patrick from Danish TV2. Well, the Irish team, you have to win tomorrow. The Irish team hasn't done that against the Danes the last 5 times. What honestly makes you believe that you can do it tomorrow?
See, I always, when people tell me that, we haven't beaten somebody for so many times, well, I always believe it's about time we did. And I think that's the mentality that I try and instill into everybody else. Just because it hasn't happened before doesn't mean it's not going to happen again. You know, there's loads of places being flooded in England at the minute. They've never been flooded before. They are because it's been raining a lot. So I honestly believe there's if you cover football, you cover sport, that results happen. And results happen for a reason. Whether it's us that's more motivated, it's us that fancy the game more. There's us that stop your team playing. Your team doesn't play as well. You know, I just think that for us, and always, there's a big performance in us that can win a game. And we drew in Denmark, and you know, you had a few chances, but nevertheless, it was a great performance and a great result for us. If I don't believe it, I might as well go home. And I'm not going home anytime soon.
Leif Rasmussen from Jutland Fune News in Denmark.
Good morning.
Morning. It's often said that the Danish players are better technical than the Irish. What do you think about that? Do you agree?
Often said by whom?
By the Danes.
Well, I don't know. Well, that might tell you something then, eh? Yeah. Self-praise is no praise, I'm afraid.
So you will not bring your thoughts about that?
I'm not bothered. If I sat here and said I was better than everybody else, you wouldn't believe me, would you? So, I don't... It doesn't concern me, that. People's opinions don't concern me. Because it's on the day. Yeah, you can be better for all the time round. I've seen a lot of cup finals. I know, I was a big Leeds fan as a kid. I remember watching that one against Sunderland, and it was an absolute shoo-in. Sunderland couldn't win. Guess what? It did. And then all the games subsequently that I've seen or been involved in, when teams shouldn't win, they've got better players, they've got a better squad, they've got a better manager, everything's in their favour, and they get slapped. Well, that's what I'm hoping will happen tomorrow.
Morning, Mick. How's it going? Just here.
Morning. Sorry, you're right in front of me, yeah.
Yeah. You'd spoken to us last Wednesday about how maybe players involved against New Zealand might find it quite difficult to get into the team for tomorrow night's game. Do you still stand by that, or did anyone put in a performance on Thursday night that kind of put themselves into serious consideration?
Yes, yeah, they did. There were some good performers, but as I've always said, you'll see the team tomorrow night, so I'm not going to enlighten you on any of that. But there were some good performances there.
Obviously, we need a draw or a win to qualify the Republic of Ireland.
I was going to say, I prefer your version on life anyway.
The Danes, of course, are the team that need the draw. Will that change your mindset, the game plan at all, the fact that they only need a point from this game?
Not at all, no. If you would think that you just set off and say, right, what changes it? We've still got to try and win the game. But to think that because we beat New Zealand on Thursday night, suddenly we scored 3 goals, we can go gung-ho against the Danes and we'll just go and beat them. That's just not in my thinking. These are, and I've said, beaten once in 31. They're a fabulous team. They're quite clearly better technically than us because they believe it. The team will be announced on Monday. You see it. But there were some good performances there the other night. Did themselves no harm.
You mentioned the Ugi Herrera interview where he kind of referenced being slightly pissed off and having to play Ireland so often. In the same interview he said, because we've played each other so often, I don't think we can surprise each other. Would you go along with that, or do you think your Irish team can spring a few surprises tomorrow night?
Well, I guess the only surprise will be to everybody is if we win. So yes, I do believe we can surprise them.
Mick, you spoke earlier about the performance in Copenhagen, and you're right in saying that it was a good performance, especially the way the team started. One thing that watching the game back, just a stat popped up on the screen about possession 70-30 in terms of Denmark. So in such tight games, do you think that maybe
over the whole game, was it?
No, it was in the first half, late in the first half that stat did pop up.
Well, let's just clear that up so everybody doesn't think 70-30 was the whole game. It was the first half, because they flash it up at times, and it could be 80-20 because you're having a real good period. So it wasn't over the whole of the game.
No, but just in terms of the question, forgive me for interrupting. Right, absolutely right.
Stats are one thing. The real stats afterwards. So we'll find that.
That's what I'm saying. In such a tight game, and as it has been over all the games with Denmark, an improvement on that stat specifically. If you could match that stat, is that something that you think could prove decisive in the game?
Well, you've picked on a point there that I spoke about over the last 2 games, that we haven't kept the ball well enough, to be honest. So yes, I would like to improve on that. It depends where the ball is, of course, as well. The stat, how many passes you're having in whichever third of the pitch you're in, whether it's in defence, attack, middle. But look, they've always been a very good side, a possession-based team, and we've tried to press them. We did it, I thought, effectively at times. Other times you've got to sit in and make sure they don't play through you, because they're very good at it.
In terms of, there's a lot of talk this week about the Thierry Henry handball incident, but in terms of a game, because it's an anniversary, 10-year anniversary, but in terms of a game which is probably more pertinent, if you look back at the Dutch game and the opening moments when Roy Keane put in that challenge on Mark Overmars, that set the tone for that day. How is that? Obviously, a challenge like that is, in the modern game, is a fine line between a yellow, red card or just a well-timed tackle. How can someone set the tone in this game? Is it something that can be constructed, or is it just something that an individual might take upon themselves?
Well, I do think that a game, a tone can be set by, I'm not so sure now, by a tackle. Even fair, strong tackles seem to get pulled up for fouls and sometimes yellow cards. But they can affect the game by a dribble or a shot or something positive, that a collective positive, winning the ball up the pitch, keeping it there, a good start to the game, that sets the tone. And of course, I would imagine every manager, coach around the world wants a good start to the game. Well, I know they do. I haven't found one yet that doesn't. So we'll be looking for that. See who can do it.
And then just to pick up on something you said, do you honestly think everybody would be shocked if you won? Or Nick, when you compare the results over the last few years, is it not a more manageable task than maybe people are speaking about?
Well, the question was about a surprise, wasn't it? And I said it appears to me with the feeling behind it. No, it wouldn't be a surprise to me, not at all. So I'm really directing that to other people, not me, or the players. I do believe that always that we can win the game.
Hi, Mick. Sorry, is Richard Keogh still with the squad for up to the game, or was he in for one night only?
He's on the bench. He'll be the 23rd man, Richard.
He's still
no. He's staying for the game. Of course he is.
Yeah. The fact that we've played Denmark so often, is there an added edge going into this game?
In what way do you mean an edge? An edge of what?
I guess just the fact, obviously there's so much at stake. I guess, is there slightly more at stake just because it's Denmark again?
Well, can I tell you how I'm feeling today? Is that I've said to you already that knot's there today. So I would hope that, well, not hope, it will be with the players and that. Getting ready for that game, I can't imagine that if there's any game that's a competitive game, there should always be an edge there, and there'll be a bit more, I'm sure. It doesn't. I don't know whether he plays. I'm not involved in these 5-6 games that's been with Denmark, so I just want to win the game. It won't matter to me that it's Denmark or it's anybody else.
We have a playoff through the Nations League in the bag now. Does that affect mentality or preparation going into this, or is it still? Do you still view tomorrow night as kind of do or die?
You're the first person that's mentioned that today.
Okay.
So I'm not talking about it. I'm not thinking about it. I would prefer to get it done tomorrow.
Yeah, perfect. Well, yeah, thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mick, can I just ask you what you were hoping for from the Irish crowd tomorrow?
I guess I wonder what they're hoping from us. They're hoping that we play well, they're hoping that we give them a performance, and they're hoping that we win. And I've no doubt they'll turn up and they'll support us like they always do. But they'll support us a lot better if we play well and win, won't they? And they'll enjoy it more. So maybe it's what we want to produce for them as much as anything, and let's hope we do.
Shane Duffy seems to be the man who has the knack of scoring against Denmark. How important will he be tomorrow?
Well, he's been important to the team, hasn't he, for a long time now. He's a really top defender, and he has that ability to get a goal. He's good in both boxes, as we would say. It'd be nice if we got goals from elsewhere as well. But if it means it's a free kick, it's a corner kick, it's a threat always. Hey, by the way, they're a threat from us as well. They're a big team, and they have good deliveries. You know, I think they clipped the post with a header from a corner kick in Denmark. So we have to be aware of that. But Big Duff is great. He's been a terrific servant, still is.
Can you talk to me about his leadership qualities?
Yes, he's one of them in the squad that everybody so looks up to. He's one of those that just how he plays the game, I think he gets respect out of people and about his teammates, and without going around screaming and shouting at people, he'll cajole people, he'll get people. He makes people. You can see him if we're having a bit of a tough time. He rallies the troops and gets them defending, and he's the one that blocks things and gets his head on stuff. He's one of those guys that you rely upon.
So he's captain material?
Yeah, he is, yeah. Well, he is the captain.
Was that a difficult decision for you to make, or an easy one?
Oh, very easy, simple, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Any last questions? No? Everyone happy? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.